Jesus is a black man. Jesus is not a brown man. Jesus is a black man. You understand? That's what the world don't want to know. You understand? Jesus is a black man. He wasn't brown or Middle Eastern. Let's stop the lies. Jesus is a black man. I know this must upset some people. I'm sorry to bust your bubble. You understand? But the King of Kings is a black man, according to the Bible. You understand? So let's stop the lies. Let's stop the semantics. You understand? What's your question? You understand? It's time to stop the lies now.
My question is about the resurrection of Jesus and the prophecy that he made about just like Jonah was, so shall he as well, for 3 days and 3 nights inside of a tomb. So if you read it, that Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights inside of a belly of a fish for 3 days and 3 nights, and he was alive. I know I saw somebody saying that in the Bible that he was actually dead and then resurrected or something, right? But if Jesus said, just like Jonah was in the belly of a fish for 3 days and 3 nights, so shall him, Son of Man, be in the belly of a fish for 3 days and 3 nights. And that's why sometimes some Christians or something, do Good Friday and then celebrate Easter Sunday, meaning his resurrection. Now, if Jesus says, just like Jonah was, so shall Son of Man be inside of a heart of earth, meaning like in the tomb and then come back to life. Now, if you read it, just like Jonah was, so shall he as well. So you'd expect him to be exactly like Jonah. Now, we are told that Jonah was alive inside the belly of a fish all those 3 days and 3 nights. But Jesus, as soon as we're told that he died and he was buried, now inside of a tomb, meaning that, inside in the heart of the earth, he would also be expected.
But get to the point.
He would be expected to also be alive inside of the heart of the earth, meaning his tomb, right? But he wasn't. Second of all, the Bible makes this even.
What's your first point, sir? Because you just threw a whole bunch of words. You understand?
It's a question, but based on what I'm gonna say, based on what my explanation. Then you can also interpret it how you see it, right? So then the Bible goes a bit further to explain this. It said that he died on Friday. Obviously,
the Bible doesn't say that he died on Friday, but go ahead.
But he was crucified on Friday, right?
It doesn't say that.
It doesn't say that he was crucified on Friday.
No.
All right.
It doesn't say that he was crucified on Friday. If you read, because it says that he was on the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. You understand? So it could not have been Friday, because 3 days and 3 nights, Friday to Saturday is 1 day. You understand? Saturday to Sunday is 2 days. You understand? So it wasn't Friday.
Okay. If it was, let's say it was on Friday, because you guys celebrate Easter stuff from Friday, Good Friday. I mean,
we don't celebrate Easter.
No, you guys. Maybe some other part of Christianity. But the point I'm getting at, other branch of Christianity. But the point I'm getting at is if people celebrate Good Friday, it's gone off.
Which is a lie,
right? Good Friday, and then celebrate Easter Sunday, meaning the resurrection. From Friday to Sunday morning, when he came back to life, and Mary Magdalene found him, or something like that. If you count it properly, based on the prophecy that he will be inside of the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights, just like Jonah was. Friday he would have been buried on Friday, because the crucifixion takes ages, it's a painful death to happen. So by Friday night he was buried, he was inside the tomb. So the prophecy basically starts happening, right? The moment that he was inside the tomb. So Friday night would be night 1, Saturday night would be night 2, Sunday night would be night 3. However, Friday morning we wouldn't count it as Friday day 1, because it's we know that he was buried and died later on that day. So Saturday morning would be day 1, Sunday morning would be day 2, right? But let's say we even count Friday as day 1, then we'd have 3 days. But still, it wasn't 3 nights, because Sunday night did not happen, and he woke up on Sunday morning. So the prophecy is either broken, either the Bible lied about this, if it's in the Bible, or Jesus lied. So you can't be both. There is other things I could say, but this is based on what this. It's basically like a question based on what I'm saying.
That's a good question. Get me Matthew 12 verse 40.
Matthew chapter 12 verse 40. For as
So what you said was a whole bunch of Christianity doctrine. You understand? Because the Bible doesn't teach that Christ died on so-called Good Friday. You understand? That's a lie. You understand? So we just want to make that clear. Easter is a lie. A lie by Christianity, Christendom. You understand? We are not Christians. We are the Israelites. You understand? Read.
Matthew chapter 12 verse 40. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
It says, as Jonas was in the belly 3 days and 3 nights, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights. You understand? So if you calculate Friday, you understand, Friday to Sunday, how many days is that? It's not 3 days. You understand? Because let me prove that to you. Because how many hours is there in a day?
24 hours.
Thank you. You understand? 12 hours and 12 nights, right? Let's prove that. John 11 verse 9. 12 hours a day, 12 hours 9. Understand? Which makes up 24 hours. Read.
John what, sorry?
11 verse 9.
The book of John chapter 11 and verse 9. 1 second. John chapter 11 and verse 9. Jesus answered, are there not 12 hours in a day?
Jesus answered what?
Are there not 12 hours in a day?
Jesus answered, are there not 12 hours in a day? Read.
If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world.
So my point is there's 12 hours in a day. You understand? So now go to the book of Matthew chapter 28 verse 1. Matthew chapter 28. So we're going to explain to you the resurrection of Jesus Christ. You understand? And Easter. You understand? Read.
I know where Easter comes from. But
That's connected. I can see
The book of Matthew chapter 28. Sorry, what verse?
Verse 1.
Verse 1. In the end of the Sabbath.
It says, in the end of the Sabbath, read.
As it began to dawn toward the first day of the week.
As it began to dawn towards the first day of the week. You understand? So in the end of the Sabbath, because the day, according to the Bible, the day starts in the evening. You understand? Let's see what happened. Read.
Came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre.
Came who?
Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre.
Came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. You understand? So that's early, in the early hours. You understand? That's when what happened? Read.
And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it.
Read on.
His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow.
So there were angels guarding the sepulchre of Jesus Christ. You understand? Read.
And for fear of him, the keepers did shake and became as dead men.
The keepers did shake and became as dead men. Yeah, the soldiers that were keeping the sepulchre. Read.
He is not here, he is risen. As he said, come, see the place where the Lord lay, and go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead, and behold, he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him. Lo, I have told you.
So he was already risen. He's already risen. Remember, it says that in the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn, you understand, towards the first day of the week. So he was already risen. You understand? Now this is saying that he rose on the Sabbath day. Do you understand? So, exactly. You understand? Well, it doesn't specify, but when as it began, it was already risen. You understand? Before the first day came. So the point is, he didn't die on a Friday. He died, according to this scripture, he died on a Wednesday. Why? Because Wednesday sundown to Thursday sundown, 1 day. Thursday sundown to Friday sundown, 2 days. Friday sundown to Sabbath sundown is 3 days. Do you understand? That's 3 days, according to the Bible. What's the question? Yeah, 3 days and 3 nights. Remember, that's what we read. 3 days and 3 nights.
at the end of the day.
Yes, and he was already risen. So what we're trying to prove to you is that Easter is a lie. Easter has nothing to do with the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Understand? And we're going to explain to you where Easter comes from as well. Get me Acts chapter 12 verse 1. Hold on. We're going to explain to you where Easter comes from.
From the Bible.
Yeah, from the Bible. Because it's actually in the Bible. Read. The book of again?
I thought it had nothing to do.
It has nothing to do. That's a good question, because the Bible, nowhere in the Bible does it say that we should celebrate it. But guess what? The heathens, which is the other nation, used to celebrate Easter. You understand? Read.
The book of Acts chapter 12 verse 1. Now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands.
So now by that time, Herod the king stretched forth his arms. Herod then, he was a king of Judea. He was an Idumean, meaning he was an Edomite. You understand? He was a white man. He was not an Israelite. No. Read.
To vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also.
So because he saw that it pleased the Jews, he proceeded to take Peter also. Let's see around what time this was.
Then were the days of unleavened bread.
Then what?
Were the days of unleavened bread.
Then were the days of unleavened bread. The days of unleavened bread, you can read that in the book of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. The day of unleavened bread is also called the Passover. Let's get that quickly in the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 1. So notice that everything we do, we read it from the Bible. That's why I was bringing out to the brother, the Bible is of no private interpretation. We're going to prove everything. You understand? It's as it is. The Bible explains itself. Read.
The book of Luke, chapter 22 and verse 1. Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh.
Which is what?
Which is called the Passover.
Which is called what?
The Passover.
So the feast of unleavened bread, or the days of unleavened bread, is also known as the Passover. It's the same thing. Understand? But go back to, it's not separated. Go back to the book of Acts.
The book of Acts chapter 12 verse 3. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread.
Then were the days of unleavened bread. Read.
And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to the 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter.
Intending after what?
After Easter, to bring him forth to the people.
Intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. Notice that in the verse 3 it says the days of unleavened bread. In verse 4 it says Easter. So fun fact. Exactly. Easter is actually it falls around about the same time as the Passover. They're like 1 or 2 week difference. Understand? But the only difference is the festival was the Passover, but the heathens' festival was Easter. Because here, this was the first time that Easter was mentioned in the Bible. Read it again.
And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to the 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
He was intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. You understand? Say it again.
Peter that he's talking about.
Yeah, he was wanting to kill Peter. He wanted to make Peter a public example. You understand? After he celebrated his feast, he was like, listen, I'm going to celebrate my feast before I put this apostle to death. You understand? He wanted to make him a public example. So, you understand? Just to make it simple. After Easter. You understand? So, like I said, Easter has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. I'm going to prove to you that Easter was celebrated long before the birth of Jesus Christ. Samuel chapter 7 verse 3. So we're going to show you the history of Easter. Samuel chapter 7 verse 3. 1 Samuel chapter 7 verse 3. We're going to show you that was way before, centuries before Jesus Christ was born.
That's right.
Exactly. You understand? So today, what the Christians have done, they mix it together, and now we're celebrating something exactly pagan. You understand? Read.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 7 and verse 3. And Samuel spake unto all the house of Israel.
Samuel spake unto who?
All the house of Israel.
Saying what?
Saying, if ye do return unto the Lord with all your hearts, then put away the strange gods and Ashtaroth.
And who?
Ashtaroth.
And who?
Ashtaroth.
Ashtaroth is the same as Easter. You understand? It's the same word. Ashtaroth, Easter, even the book of Esther. It means the same thing, meaning the star god. You understand? It was formerly the Babylonian gods. You understand? Thank you. That's a good question. So I'm gonna show you where it came from. So the deity actually originated from ancient Egypt. From ancient Egypt, it came down to the Persians. You understand? And then the Babylonians, and then the what do you call it? The Greeks adopted it. They called it, so in different captivities, they called it different names. You understand? So the Egyptians called it Isis. The Persians, as you said, they called it, who were they again? These were the Canaanites. They called it Ashtaroth. The Persians called it Easter or Esther. You understand? The Greeks called it Diana. You understand? And or Easter is the same thing, meaning the star god. You understand? Read.
Let me read it again. And Samuel spake unto all the house of Israel, saying, if you do return unto the Lord with all your hearts, then put away the strange gods and Ashtaroth.
Meaning put away Easter. It has nothing to do with the Bible. The strange gods and Easter. Read.
From among you, and prepare your hearts unto the Lord, and serve him only, and he will deliver you out of the hand of the Philistines.
So we're trying to show you that Easter has nothing to do with the Bible. You understand? Easter is an ancient pagan festival. It's an ancient pagan deity. You understand? That has nothing to do with the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Do you understand that?
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.